You're here with Ty Smith, and it's a great day in Gadsden. It's the Go Gadsden Podcast. Listen, tell a neighbor, tell a friend, somebody, call my mom. Tell her baby boy is on the podcast. All right. Hey, listen, we're super excited. Today we have a very, very, very special and important guest as it pertains to economic development in Gadsden County. I am so elated to bring on and introduce my brother, my friend, Mr. TJ Lewis, the Executive Director of the Economic Development Office for Gadsden County, for our commission. So I'm super excited to have him in. Listen, make sure you are tagging and sharing and spreading the word. This one's going to be amazing. So, TJ.
Yes, sir.
Man, I got to say thank you, first of all, on air in front of thousands and thousands of people. I started with the Chamber in December 2025. And, of course, you were one of those people who reached out to, talked to, and you've really held my hand through this process. And so I'm absolutely grateful, man, for just the relationship, the friendship, the partnership that we have in making Gadsden County better.
I'm grateful for you. I mean, as much as you talked about me holding your hand, you held my hand. You kept me energized throughout this process.
Oh, man, you know, it's all
You brought a whole new energy to the game. Yes, sir.
And that's what I'm excited about, the great things that are happening in Gadsden. And, you know, many times in economic development, you have to be kind of careful about announcing projects, things of that nature. There's this great demand on, hey, what's Gadsden doing? And every time someone else comes out with something, like I think there was a Buc-ee's announced that Buc-ee's is coming to the area, to Tallahassee. And man, I look on the feed on social media and that could have come to Gadsden and all this stuff, right? So every time there's a new development in the area, many residents feel like, that could have come here, right? But of course, you're on that side of things where you know the inside and all the demands and requirements that it takes for an industry or industrial leader or a company to come to an area. So if you can, man, enlighten us, enlighten the people, tell us all about your office, what you're responsible for, and then we're going to deep dive into kind of what does it take to get businesses to come to the county.
Okay, well, that's a really good prompt. So let me try to dissect it by talking about the office first. So our office was launched in 2023.
Okay.
So this is the first time we've stood up an economic development department in modern era for Gadsden County. Okay. Previously, we were served by a nonprofit.
Got it.
So given that, we have the ability to interface with agencies like yours, with the state government, with federal government in the acquisition or application for grants. Okay. These grants go towards planning. So if we're talking about how we plan the economic development future for our county, which is a complex county because we have 6 municipalities. Right. So we're talking about the vision of 6 communities in addition to the county commission, which itself is a 7th body. All right. So that's a very complex web to weave together. And then we have the ability to provide information to the general public. So we can't be opinionated. It has to be factual. It has to come from an official source. So we provide that data to the general public on our website, gadsdenbiz.gov. I'm sorry, gadsdenbiz.com.
Okay.
All right. So what do? Our department is there for any business that's aiming to grow in Gadsden County, stay in Gadsden County, because maybe there's this risk of them leaving if we can't provide the resources or the support they need, or attract them to Gadsden County. And so most of our energy is spent on attraction because unless we're finding out that a business is struggling, we're always in the process of looking for new business to bring in. So we spend a lot of time attracting businesses. Many businesses want to know about the general character of the area, our population, statistics, household incomes are important. Educational attainment is important. The availability of land, very important. Placement of workforce to where they want to have their business is also important. We gather all that data. We work with the company to find them an ideal location. We work with the companies, those that ask about incentives. We work to find as many incentives for those companies as possible. They often come with a prescribed recipe for what they need in a community. That's what they call their requirements
Very good.
to be there in that community. So when you mentioned Buc-ee's in your example earlier, Buc-ee's called and they said, hey, we're looking at your area. Within 15 minutes of any given site in Gadsden County, we need 150,000 people. We need this many households. We need this type of workforce. So we know if they say 150,000 people, that it needs to be on what we call the east side of Gadsden County, closer to Tallahassee.
Right.
So I would show them everything we've got in the available area, in that target area with 150,000 people in the surrounding area, but it also has to have 18 acres or more. It has to already be zoned commercial or industrial, so then that further limits what we can show them. Correct. We were able to show Buc-ee's some sites, but ultimately they chose another site deeper within that population zone that they were seeking, that already had the entitlements in place.
So you bring up an amazing point. There's a lot of information for our listeners, but I know, man, we're going to get probably 100,000 shares on this, because you're answering questions that the community at large really need to know. And that is why large industries or brand names or big box companies, why do they pass over, or it appears as if they maybe pass over Gadsden? And you're saying that basically, like, it's not necessarily on Gadsden to do, but every big box company, they have a list of requirements based on their side of things, based on their specialties, to say like, hey, we've identified that we do best or we prosper the most as a company when we're close to 100 and how many?
Well, in that case, 150,000.
Yes. So Buc-ee's strategically has some requirements to say we need we need to be close to within 15 miles of 150,000 people, along with 18 acres.
That's what they needed for the size of the footprint of the store.
Yeah,
or more.
Yeah. So when you look at that, when you look at the list of what any company, so whether it's a Buc-ee's or a Publix, oh man, do we want a Publix?
We're going to get us a Publix.
Yeah.
Yes,
So whether it's Buc-ee's or Publix or whatever, you name Dave and Buster's or anything like that, all of them come with these requirements.
That's right.
Right before and then even if you have the requirements, it's still left to them to actually make the selection.
Right. It's just like you building your house. You want to build your dream house in your dream location. Correct. Some people have a lakefront, a beachfront. You're right. Size of a property they like. Some people like a big yard. Some people like a neighbor. Right. So companies are the same way. They want highway frontage. Sometimes they want amenities nearby. Sometimes they like a golf course for their employees. Sometimes they need a hospital. So it just depends on the company. They all have a set of what sometimes might seem quirky, but set of criteria that are very important to them, sort of deal breakers. And if they can't get them, they can't check that box, then our chances of getting them this time around are slim. But every time we fail on one gives us a chance to know what we need to do for the next one.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's major. So these pre-qualifiers are kind of the key to whether a marriage between a business and a county or a business and a city will actually work out.
That's right.
And that's so big because within the community, of course, from the citizen side, right, you're saying, well, I live here. And I think many citizens, especially if they were born here, the natives of different areas, then they kind of find it harder to digest because they're not accustomed to necessarily selecting things like you were just talking about. Like, hey, do I want to live on the beach versus do I want to live, near a golf course, et cetera. And so those are vital things. So, okay, so you told a good deal of what your office does. How big is your office staff to do all of that?
We have a small staff. So we've got 3 people in our office.
Oh, wow.
Myself, office manager, and then the PIO shares our office with us.
Okay. Now, what's PIO for everybody?
Public Information Officer.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So then we have our office, which is a little bit outside of the county's main office building, but we share resources countywide because we're a small county. So if we don't have the budget person in our office, we're working with the budget person from the main office. us. You know, we
Okay.
we try our best to strategically
Mm-hmm.
utilize the resources. I'm using you sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
you have the connections with the business community. So
Correct.
I call you up and say, hey, Ty, hook
Right.
me up with somebody in the
Right.
trucking world or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes, good, healthy partnerships, knowing that like, hey, my staff is limited. Just like your staff is limited. The staff at the chamber is limited,
That's right.
And so taking this on, sometimes we don't necessarily get the credit that we need, but many times it's because of a lack of understanding of what we actually do. Now, you said earlier something that was really key too, and that is for the dynamics of Gadsden County, we have 6 cities, right, in one county, and of those 6 cities in one county, they cover a population of about 44,000 people. And so that's been my biggie, like coming into all this. That is like, if I'm trying to sell Gadsden County to a business, right, then it's a matter of saying like, okay, would a business be more willing to come to a city of 43,000, shameless plug, or a city of 2,500?
When you're trying to frame it out,
Right.
So we go even further. So we're in a part of Tallahassee's MSA, right?
Okay.
Metropolitan Statistical Area. The census designates that because more than 50% of our population works in the core Leon County, Tallahassee market.
Wow.
So because of that, we actually share a population of about 400,000.
Wow.
Right.
Very
So
good.
it also happens that Bainbridge is in what's called Tallahassee's CSA, which is Combined Metropolitan Statistical Area. It only captures Decatur County north of the state line, right?
Okay.
Which then brings in an additional 25, 30,000 people.
Got it.
They're able to take advantage of that number for their recruitment as well. So Bainbridge says, well, our town is of 20,000 people, but we're part of a metro of 450,000 people.
Got it.
And that allows them to talk to companies that may not otherwise talk to Bainbridge.
Right.
So our embrace in our office, our approach is to embrace the entire area. So we're a market of 400,000 people. Why is that important? Because the companies that we're talking to, the ones we're aiming to attract in logistics, in technology, they're looking for a workforce. That workforce has got to come from the universities that are housed in Tallahassee.
Correct.
We have a school in Gadsden, but we have greater talent coming out of Tallahassee as well. We all know that.
Right.
As is the hospital system in Tallahassee. We've got availability to the capital. So we want to make sure we tap into every possible resource when we're talking to companies, but then we also sell the charm of the intimacy of Gadsden County, where your neighbors know you and people care about you and people are proud of their community, where you can go fishing after work. So we sell the bigger part when we need to, and then we sell the charm once they settle on a location in our county.
Man, that is absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad you said that, because when it comes down to, again, industry acquisition and bringing these companies in, people just feel like, oh, there's some land over there, right? Why isn't that land populated?
Oh,
or why isn't it built?
Get this one all the time.
Yeah. And so you educated me to something called what is it? Is it site ready?
Site readiness, yes.
Yeah, site readiness.
Yes.
Right? So please educate our viewers and the citizens of Gadsden on what are at least the core requirements for a site to be ready.
Oh my goodness. So we actually just completed a grant. We looked at countywide. We spent about $75,000 to go countywide, looking at every eligible parcel that could be used in what we were calling our strategic site inventory. This is identifying sites ahead of a developer or a company coming along and saying, we want this. We've already identified sites that are ideal for corporations. We've come up with a list of 10, and I'm going to share that list with you later. Don't let me forget.
Absolutely.
But with that, you're looking at parcel size its future land use designation as it currently sits today, because changing the future land use map takes time.
Right.
Right. It goes before the county. It goes before the state. It can sometimes be challenged in court.
Wow.
And after all that, it could take years to get a future land use change completed. So it's important that we go with what we've already got on the books. So we looked at all of the things that could be commercial or industrial. Where's the rail line? Because sometimes if we're talking about industrial, they're carrying heavy loads. Heavy loads sometimes can't go on the highway. They go on the railroad.
Correct.
All right. So where are those rail lines in proximity to those properties? Will those properties allow for a spur to be built to their property? That way, the rail could literally go up to the building for the inventory to be offloaded or unloaded to go back into the transportation system. We have some sites would have the ability, like in, say, the western part of the county near Chattahoochee, maybe in the future, for water access as well. Now we're working on a thing, and this is going to be exciting in the next 5 to 10 years, the Gulf to Gadsden Freight Logistics Zone. So it's inland port. It's a dream of mine, and it's shared by, I know Mr. Antonio Jefferson in Gretna. He's a big champion of it. It's basically a large site that sits at right about I-10. When I say large, I'm talking about 500 acres or more. So imagine a large site where inventory that has come north through the Gulf is loaded onto a train in Gulf County, where they have a port. And that train then drives 1 or 2 counties north to I-10. The closest part of I-10 from that part of the Gulf is in Gadsden County at Gretna. So I'm calling it the inland port because that then would allow us to warehouse all these supplies and resources right in our county that can be used throughout the American economy and transported along I-10. Now, it also ties in with Tallahassee's designation. They're trying to get a designation for the airport to be in a duty-free zone. Right. So you would then take advantage of our location within Tallahassee's duty free zone. It would capture about 12 counties. All right. So we would have an inland port with a duty free designation where inventory can be kept tax free by companies until it sells to an end user. So that would be a very strategic site that would allow us to really sell Gadsden as a unique place for companies, especially in the logistics realm, to operate. Right. So I'm excited about that. We talked about 500 acres of possibility, which could hold. I mean, if let's say we've got 100 acres at 1090 and you see how many companies we've got in there. Absolutely. Imagine how many we could have at 500 acres on I-10 in Gretna at that large site. So that's one I'm really excited about. And I forgot about the question. You talk about the other criteria that that companies look for strategic sites. Let's see. Safety. They want to be in a safe location, just like you want your house in a safe location. Access to workforce, because oftentimes you build something and then you have the hardest time finding the workforce, especially when you're in a rural community. So they're very careful to identify sites that have good access to workforce. All right. Let's see. We talked about the future land use designation. Zoning is important. Sometimes the companies don't want to be in a city. That's where the county has the permitting authority. The reason for a company not wanting to be in the city is to save on their millage, because the county, the cities add an extra millage on top of the counties. Now there's an advantage to being in a city though, because sometimes you want to be in a city. They're more sophisticated in their ability to provide you with utility, water resources, sewer underground, and then they have the ability to do their own permitting. Sometimes it's faster than the county's process. So there are trade-offs on both sides. And I could think of a million other things that go into this, but I think I've touched on most of them.
You have infrastructure. Is that when it comes down to building and site readiness, how vital is, I'm smiling about this, is infrastructure? And then what's the core of what infrastructure actually means?
So infrastructure is probably the most important thing. And I talked about infrastructure just previously without actually using the words. I talked about rail access and highway frontage and that type of thing. But all of that is infrastructure. So when you're talking about rail, that's of course, heavy freight infrastructure,
Right.
Highway access, another transportation infrastructure piece, underground utilities, very important, or utilities in general. We like them underground because it's cleaner to look at.
Okay.
But underground would be for water and sewer,
Okay.
just naturally. That's a required piece of infrastructure for anybody in the heavy industry business.
Absolutely.
So infrastructure is key. You can't do anything much without infrastructure in place, because even in the remote locations, septic and well only get you so far.
Exactly.
You still need power. So infrastructure is key. And how can you use a piece of property you can't access? Right. So you got to have infrastructure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of my biggest, as I see people kind of renting, they're like, oh, we need, or we want this, we want that. And it's like there are not only the considerations from the business side, but also the considerations of what the county must already have. And you can't necessarily start talking to a company today and then have infrastructure that aligns with what that company's prerequisites are today.
Let me draw one more thing out.
Yeah.
As we talk about the county, so when we say county infrastructure, we're limited as it relates to our 6 municipalities that we have who will need infrastructure for their population center. So when we're talking about the county, imagine an area that's mostly sparsely populated. It's unincorporated. So it's one of the more pristine places. You pass through, you see cows, you see lots of trees and fields, right? There's no reason to put infrastructure in an area like that. You put the infrastructure where the people are.
Right.
So in Quincy, for instance, our county seat, you're going to see the sewer underground. You're going to see the power. You're going to see they'll probably have a rail system in the county somewhere. I mean, in the county seat, you've seen that in Quincy.
Correct.
We've got sewer, we've got school infrastructure, school system set up. So all of that is already in the cities, which is why it's easier to place a company in the city limits than it would be in the county. Now, a cheat is for a company to go into the county where there may be some infrastructure, but those sites are very limited.
Exactly. And that's the thing I think the public needs to understand. So, of course, we have so much more. I got to bring you back on, man. Our time is about up. But this has been so informative. And this is what I believe our citizens need to understand, because I want to come back on our next episode at a later time and day and talk about how we have to zero in on workforce production, and that means partnering with our school system, supporting our school systems, whether they be private, public, or charter, you name it, supporting them, and then really connecting and building stronger relationships with our universities and our colleges and things of that nature, so we can make sure that when these businesses are looking, we check that box with the workforce. So it's going to be amazing. Hey, any parting words? Are there any words that you would give to a citizen who is demanding that there is more economic development in Gadsden?
All I'm going to tell them is keep their eye on you, because you have an energy. You are a flame that's just walking through the community, setting everything on fire. And I'm telling you, if they keep watching you and you're going to talk about all these other topics you just mentioned, they're going to be happy with what comes out of Gadsden County. We're just in a transition, and I believe we're going to come out of the other side a much happier, more prosperous community.
Absolutely.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Thank you so much, TJ.
Yes.
Of course, the love is real, man. The partnership is real, and I'm super excited for all you're doing in our county. I'll tell everyone openly, there are chambers who attempt to take on such a great feat, and the average chamber is ill-equipped to bring on such industry with the knowledge that's needed, the background that's needed in order to do it. And so I'm genuinely appreciative of our partnership, because I can do relationship building, right? I can bring people in, but when it comes down to the schematics and the specifics that are needed in order for those companies to really, make Gadsden home, they need relationships and specifics. And I'm so grateful for what you bring and what the county, the commission brings in their economic Economic Development Office. So thank you again.
Thank you.
For all our viewers, if you would like more of this, listen, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure you like and share. Share this with somebody. We have to educate our community and the surrounding areas as it pertains to economic development. So until the next time, it's been a great day at the Chamber. We'll see you soon.